Hi everybody, it's Claire back with another art journal video, and this is a really simple page using some of Dina's brand new release. I'm using the little faces stamps. They are, sorry about all the noise, they're called the Littlies. They're very cute. I'm starting off again, I don't know, I'm just obsessed with these new colours. I promise I will use some other ones. I'm using mustard. I'm pulling it onto my page. There's no gesso on there to start off with. I am just adding a little bit of colour onto the background to get me started. I used quite a dry brush for that as well. Then of course I'm going to use raspberry and pull that down page 2, and I think I use malachite as well. I did tell you that I am obsessed with these brand new colours. They are just so lovely, and I just can't help reaching for them all the time. So I'm going to try and leave some white space, inverted commas, on this page, because, as you know, it's not something that I always do very easily. I do like to fill my pages with colour, so for me it is like a real choice to leave that white space, as it's mostly disappearing here, you can see. I haven't dried my colours in between, so if they blend, that's also fine. I'm not worried about that either. I did dry the background now before I'm going in with mustard, and this is the tile floor stencil, the brand new one, and I'm just pulling a bit of colour across my page. Then this is another brand new stencil, which is called Dash Columns, and here I'm using raspberry. So I'm not introducing any new colours, I'm just using the same ones that I've started off with, and I'm again just pulling that from the top to the bottom. So I'm starting to create some nice layers on my page. This is the Grid-It stamp set, and I'm going to use that one you can see down in the bottom right hand corner. I've stamped it onto white card and cut them out. My thinking was that I was then going to stamp some of the faces onto those, and then use them on my page. So I thought I'd bring a bit of transparency onto my page as well. So you can actually tear the transparencies. I don't know if any of you have tried doing this. They do tear really interestingly. You get a much more organic shape. So I've torn a piece of transparency. I'd put a little sort of kind of cut in it first before I tried to tear it, and that's going to go down the centre of my page, and then I'm going to layer these little squares with one of the faces from the set stamped onto it, again using black archival ink. I say that like I've made a choice to do that black archival ink. It's the only black ink I've got. But the joy of using the archival ink is that it is waterproof. Once it's dry, it won't shift. So if I did want to go in and add some colours over the top of these, that's very easy to do that. It's an easy choice to make. So decided I would just go for an odd number and use just 3 on my page. They're going to be stuck in place using some ultra thick gel medium. It works really well for sticking the transparencies down too. And then I was just kind of looking at it and thinking, I think I'd quite like a bit of collage paper on there as well, and maybe some more texture. So I did add a few more things in as I went along. So sometimes pages like this can kind of grow as you're going along, and sometimes I will start off and I know exactly what I want to do, where I want to put things. Yeah, and sometimes it is just a case of having a little bit of a play. So you can see here I've introduced a little bit of white. So and although that will kind of blend into my page, it will work a little bit just to lift the background. I'm trying to sort of think about starting to introduce a bit of contrast onto my page as well. So I'm sticking that in using some of the ultra thick gel medium, because it's out and I knew I would need it for the transparency. I'm just going to put a little bit onto my page. You don't want too much because you can kind of burnish the transparency, and if you don't have it on too thick, then when it dries it will dry clear and not cloudy. So yeah, that here I'm giving it a good press just to make it stay where I want it to be. And then I'm going to use the same ultra thick gel medium just to stick these pieces of cardstock onto my page, in a line some of them a bit offset, just going down my page. So the transparency and the collage paper are drawing the attention into where the faces are down there. Okay, so once I'd got those stuck in, I thought, I want a bit more. I want some more white on my page. So I then decided I would get some white thread and scrumple it up and stick it underneath the faces. I just like, why not? Let's have a little bit of a play. So here I'm just using my tweezers to help lift those pieces of card up and stick the thread so it's kind of connecting those faces together. Yeah, sticking those down. I like that now. And then I'm using my dotty stamp just to add some dots around and just kind of help blend those parts where the transparency meets the rest of the page. And white dots, I know, they go on everything. Look, they're even on the page on the right hand side. I mean, white splatters would work quite well, but like I say, this is something that I like. Oh, I must put my white dots on. So it started off with adding black dots, and now I'm getting obsessed with adding white dots too. Maybe I'm just dotty. So once that was done, I then found a quote that I felt worked for my page, and it's one of Dina's type ledger papers. I've said this so many times, there is always a quote for every page with those type ledger papers. They are so versatile. Sorry, excuse me. So I'm just going to stick those in using some white PVA glue, and that's this simple page finished. So really easy page to do using all these different elements from lots of Dina's most recent releases. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video and seeing how I've kind of put this together and how well Dina's new release works together as well with the old ones, but then that's always the case, isn't it? So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.